Hi, listeners. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to let you know that this episode is sponsored by The Draw Shop, and we've got something exciting for you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been asked what you do? We all get asked this, right? Have you then answered and then got the response of totally glazed over eyes or just the look of someone politely smiling but definitely not caring? It sucks. I know, I've totally been there on both sides, actually. That's why my team and I at the Draw Shop now offer a service to help you perfect your elevator pitch so that people immediately understand how you can make their life better and so that you can use this anywhere in your marketing. It's the single statement that compels your prospects to take action right away. Here's what happens. You meet with an expert copywriter on our team to define the problem you solve, how you solve it, and the transformation your customers experience after working with you. From there, we'll turn that into a short and sweet elevator pitch just for you and create a compelling one-page visual story to help the world better understand your business and how you can help them. For a special limited time offer, we are offering you this service for 1/3 the usual price, valued at $1,500. Yep, 70% off. Again, this will only be available for a limited time, and we've already seen incredible results with our clients changing this one single statement. So to get your word perfect pitch today, head to www.thedrawshop.com/elevator pitch now. That's www.thedrawshop.com/elevator pitch. Okay, let's get into today's episode. To be honest, a lot of people will get into business and they assume, oh, it's all going to be fine. Or they start something that's really cool and they're like, oh, people want this. I'm good. I'm golden. And they're not really thinking about how do I make sure that I have something that's constantly working for me to deliver those high qualified leads. Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Backstage Business. So in episode 22, I was talking about how most businesses fail, and the difference between those that actually succeed and why is this. I really pounded the fact that marketing was super important. And why? Because you need to make sales, and marketing is like the single most important thing in order to make more sales. So I announced in that I would be doing a series of episodes based on increasing your revenue for your business. And I talked about the importance of the activities that you're doing and what are the things that you should actually be focused on in order to produce more revenue and make more sales. And I kind of walked you through an exercise of determining what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis and how to define what those revenue generating activities were. And then I told you that I was going to break up all of these series of episodes into bite-sized nugget pieces for you to really digest so that you would understand all of the important components to increasing revenue in your business. And so today's bite-sized episode, or nugget, if you will, is talking about the real problems that you're solving for your customers. And some of you might be saying, okay, I know what business I'm in. I know exactly what I solve for my audience. I'm totally tuning out, but I'm going to invite you to stay because I want you to think about this differently. And I have a feeling that you are going to have an aha moment and realize, oh my gosh, that is the reason why I buy other people's products. And it wasn't exactly because they were in the business of blank. So keep paying attention because I think you're going to find out something really cool. And I promise you, it's the thing that's going to make a huge difference in how you market your business. So, the thing is as an owner of your business, you really have one job, like one most important job, and that is to make money. And to make money, that means you have to sell. And everything in your business is dependent on the revenue that you bring in. And that is dependent on how you market and sell. And as much as company culture or your passion around your services and products, or your motivation to get to the top and achieve this grand vision. Like, as much as all of that is really important, and believe me, I am about all of those things. I love it all. But at the end of the day, having a successful business where you can actually predict your cash flow and know that you have good stuff coming in and revenue coming in and you can predict it is really dependent on really good marketing that brings your prospects through a really good sales funnel and that, sells really good. So those are the goals here that I want to focus on. Those failure rates that I talked about on that last episode, episode 22, and so few businesses succeeding, that happens because business owners don't have an idea of what next month will look like. And they simply just thrive on hope. They find themselves so stressed when the famine comes right after a brief moment of feast, and then they don't have a system or a sales funnel that they can rely on to bring in high qualified prospects and customers. To be honest, a lot of people will get into business and they assume, oh, it's all going to be fine. Or they start something that's really cool and they're like, oh, people want this. I'm good. I'm golden. And they're not really thinking about, how do I make sure that I have something that's constantly working for me to deliver those high qualified leads? So my goal for you listeners is that you're going to be different. You're not going to fall into the failure rate of business because you're going to do things differently. And I will say this, I am totally guilty of trying just about everything. I would read a strategy and I tried it. I would see an ad for a marketing trick and I bought it. I would get an email about the next best software for building my audience or converting my website visitors. And I believed that I would fall behind if I didn't purchase it on the spot. So good copy really makes me buy. I have tried everything. I've totally been there. I've totally done that. And I really don't regret it, because even if the really good authors or influencers or coaches and teachers out there tried to steer me away and say, hey, don't follow my mistakes. Let me tell you everything I did wrong and let me steer you in the right direction, I still made the mistakes that they were talking about. And I'm just one of those people, which I think is like a lot of people, that really, really learns from those mistakes. I really do believe it's the most effective way to learn, is to actually go through it and go, okay, now I get why I shouldn't have done that. And it actually makes the solution a lot more clear to me. Okay, but I don't want to digress. My goal in this series and these episodes coming up is to really show you some simple marketing methods that just work. They just simply work. So today, I'm focusing on the real problem you're solving, because here's what I've learned in my 11 plus years of owning the Draw Shop. And our whole thing is we make messages impossible to misunderstand. The reason people were coming to us was because people didn't understand what they did in their business. They were having a hard time communicating that. There was no compelling reason that people felt they had to buy their services. And their customers had no idea how their business and their solution could make their life better. And these businesses have solutions. They have products and services that will make their customers' lives better. But the customer or the prospect didn't see that. They didn't know that. As far as they were concerned, if this person sold TVs and they needed a TV, they knew they could buy a TV from them. That was the quote unquote problem that the business was solving. And I know for a fact that people will buy based on a feeling, based on an internal feeling that they're having an internal problem, not the external problem. There is an internal feeling that somebody is buying that big, huge TV display. I'm looking at a box right now of a TV, and that's why I'm thinking of this example. But there's a reason somebody's going in, like they're hosting the Super Bowl at their house, for example, and they want to impress their guests. And they just want to have that feeling of, this is so much fun. We're getting to watch this game on this super crisp, clear monitor, and it looks amazing. It wasn't just, I need a TV. There was a feeling that they were going after. And a really good marketer will go after that feeling. And that's what causes us to buy something. And, when I started the Draw Shop, we were probably one of the first two companies, if not the first, that actually turned it into a business where we would do whiteboard animation videos. And this was like such a cool, different way of marketing at the time. And since then, so many competitors, so many people have popped up and have done this. And there's now software programs that can do it, and people can do it themselves. And it was like, wow, holy cow, at first it was just this thing that was cool that people wanted. And then we kind of had to look at this and go, okay, wait a minute, how are we going to stand out against all of these competitors? Because marketing and advertising is getting hard. And like any business owner, when that gets hard, that means sales are getting hard. You got to figure out what needs to change. And so we started to really look at this and say, okay, we've got so many great clients. Why do they keep coming back to us? And so we studied this and we asked these clients, and the answers were awesome. I mean, it was so simple. It was, well, you guys just make it so clear people actually understand what it is that we do and how we make their lives better. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Well, okay, so we need to speak to that more. People aren't just coming to us because, hey, we need video. Lots of people need video, but what's the real reason? It's because they want more sales. They want something that's going to convert. They want their audience and their customers to say, oh my gosh, we need that. So we had to start speaking to that and change the way our messaging was. And holy cow, that shifted everything. I mean, it shifted everything so dramatically. And so when we speak to different industries in our business, we have different messages that speak to that internal problem. So I really want you guys to start thinking about the internal problem versus that external problem that you're solving for your audience. And I like to use a few examples. So let's talk about a turf company, for example. If somebody's looking for turf and they see an ad on Facebook, for example, and it says, we install turf, we'll match any price, book a call, get a free quote. Okay, so if I'm in the market for turf, I might click on the ad only because, there's maybe been 100 other ads like that and I'm trying to get the best quote, right? But then if I see an ad that starts talking about coming home to a beautiful yard, hey, stop being embarrassed about your backyard. I'm like, immediately just that one line makes me go, oh my gosh, that is actually the real reason I want to transform my backyard, because summertime's coming up. I've got these friends coming over. I keep threatening to have this big 4th of July party, and I'm so embarrassed to have people over right now because it looks like crap. And my grass is dying. It's too expensive to water. There's all these reasons, like, what do I do? What do I do? What's a good solution? So I started thinking about turf, but that company actually spoke to the internal feeling that I'm having. And so immediately I'm more connected. And then when they start to show me the transformation of what it could look like, then I start to realize, oh my gosh, now you're speaking to that feeling I'm going to have after it's all done. And then when they tell you how quickly they can get it done and how smooth the process is, and then I don't even have to hide in my house, it's going to be okay. They're going to get it done super quick and efficiently. Oh my gosh, you're answering all of my pain points. So those are examples of the internal, the real problem. Or think of a retirement coach or financial planner, somebody who is going to help you with getting you set up for retirement. I mean, it might be something that you're like, yeah, it's a problem. I need to get this done. And you probably put it off because it's just stuff that's not that fun to think about. But if somebody starts to speak to you and talks to you about how busy you are and how you just want to have this taken care of and feel free and not have to have so much of your time eaten up while it's getting all prepared. And you just want to be have it I don't want to have to worry. If anything should happen, I want to know that I'm totally taken care of. If somebody speaks to that feeling, you're much more hooked. And I'm going to go into a lot more examples. I don't want to hit it too soon. I just want to give you the concept of thinking about the internal problem versus the external problem. I'm going to go into some really good examples in upcoming episodes, but I just want you to get you thinking about that type of stuff and think about the feeling that people have when they need your particular product or service. Are they feeling frustrated? Are they sad? Are they fed up? Are they just irritable because they're so hungry? I mean, what is it? Are they embarrassed when they look in the mirror? What are those feelings that they're having? And then think about what it is that they want to feel like afterwards, because those are the problems you're really solving. They want to be here, but they don't know how to get there. And it's causing this angst inside. It's causing this very specific feeling. Can you hit that feeling? The thing is that to be amazing at marketing and selling, this is something that you have to understand. And if you are getting this, you are like miles and miles and miles ahead of the curve of your competitors when you think like this. Because most people, if you search your industry and you start looking at the ads that pop up, or you start to look at their marketing, you're gonna see exactly where you can get them, like where you can totally top them by speaking differently to your customers. And really ask your customers too, because what you might think is the internal problem might not be. And I'm just giving you the examples of what internal problems are versus external problems are, but really ask them, because you might think, hey, they came to my dentist, they came to my practice here because they have children and they want this to be a fun experience for their children, and they want it to be all, cheery and uplifting. When really the real problem is that they came because of the super empathetic nurse who gets how scared you are to sit in that chair. So just they get really, really specific, really, really specific. So here's something else to think about. You absolutely need marketing to get people to buy your service or product. You need marketing to get them to buy what you do, because without those sales, you don't have revenue. And without that revenue, you do not have a business. So the marketing is so, so important. So let's nail that. Let's super, super nail that. And this might seem so simple, and I promised you it was going to be simple. I'm just asking you to think a little bit differently. Even if it's something you've heard before, even if it's something you know, think about it a little bit differently. Hopefully there's one little thing that you're going to do, whether it's go search those competitors, whether it's go out to your clients and ask them, hey, why is it that you love us? What is it that we solved for you? Maybe do another type of search on people that aren't yet your clients and what it is that they're really, really looking for when they're looking for something to solve that problem in their industry. Or maybe you have been addressing that external problem this whole time and you didn't realize it. So just think about that. In the upcoming episodes, we're going to talk about how to inject what you find into your messaging and wherever your customers are seeing you, to really understand that you are the one they need to solve their problem, because you are the one that's going to make their life better. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't already done so, would you do me a favor and go subscribe and review this podcast? My goal is to continue to deliver you content that will really move the revenue needle in your business and give you up-to-date content on anything else that can dramatically help your business. You can also find us at thedrawshop.com/podcast, where you can comment on the podcast or contact us directly with any issues you'd like me to address. Thanks again. I really, really appreciate you listening, and I'll see you next time.